Hi again. Thanks for waiting. We will now start the webinar. I will hand over the word. Per, the stage is yours.
Great. Thank you, Jesper. And welcome to this webinar hosted by us at Signicat and together with our partner and our friends at Metaforce. Today's webinar, we will be discussing challenges and pain points during an onboarding for a financial services. I think also we will be talking a bit about challenges when it comes to digital interaction between a company and their customers, such as an insurance company interacting with the policyholder. And joining me today from Metaforce, we have Berit. Hi, Berit. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Per. Thank you for having us. My name is Berit and I'm the sales director at Metaforce.
Great. Welcome. And also joining us from Metaforce, we have Johan. Could you also please just introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Johan Junge, and I'm the CEO of Metaforce.
Great. And also joining us from Signicat, we have Jon.
Hi, folks.
Could you also please introduce yourself?
Yes, Johan Ølnes. My main task at Signicat is working with signing and trust services, but I also do some other stuff like European standardization and policy work for Signicat.
Great. Welcome, guys. And for myself, I'm Per Ahlbom, and I'm managing our partner network at Signicat for Sweden. Great. And just to put you guys on the map, Johan, could you just do a short introduction about Metaforce, who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you for including us in this webinar. Really excited to be here today. So Metaforce, we've been around for quite some time. We were founded in 2003 in Sweden, where our HQ is. Since a couple of years back, we also have an office and a lot of presence in Norway. And I think from this year, we have presence as well, local presence in Denmark. So what we do is we work within a space called customer communication management. And we provide a cloud-based platform called Centerpoint that helps our customers to develop and produce, distribute and archive, and with the help of Signicat sign all types of written customer communication. And in our world, written customer communication is everything from more traditional documents like print and PDF to what we call secure online dialogues, like, for example, an onboarding process or other types of process that can replace the paper, really. So that's what we help our customers with. Our customers are mainly within financial services, mostly within insurance, both life and pension and non-life insurance. We also have quite a few banks and member organizations such as trade unions, as well as public sector. And what these types of customers have all in common is that they have a lot of customers in turn that they need to communicate with through various channels at given times and non-given times. So we help them automate and digitize those processes. Our partnership with Signicat goes back to 2020. Actually, I think it's longer than that. We know each other for a long time, but formally since 2020. And the reason for our partnership is because our customers are always looking for technology that can help them regardless of market. Our customers are often operational in several markets. So Signicat is able to provide that as part of our offering. I also think for these types of financial players, security and compliance is key. And I think that's something we work really well with Signicat at. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Johan. I should perhaps also mention that we will have a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. So if you have any questions during the time, please share them by using the question tab. Great. And just to continue and also to put Signicat on the map. Signicat, we were founded in Norway, in Trondheim, some 15 years ago, I believe. And we have been growing and expanding throughout all these years, initially through organically, but during the last years, quite intensively through mergers and acquisitions. And this leads us to be perhaps no longer a Nordic company, rather being a European company, which we have experienced is a great benefit for our customers, or something that we actually hear from them. Because we have offices, I think it's in 16 different countries throughout Europe, which means that we actually have local knowledge in all these countries, which really helps our customers expand to new markets. We're also very proud that we have what we think is the highest EID coverage in the world, meaning that in our EID hub, we have integrated more or less all relevant EIDs that exist in Europe. EIDs such as Swedish Bank ID or Norwegian Bank ID or MIT ID in Denmark. Our latest addition is SPID in Italy. And this is actually also something that is very handy for our customers when expanding, because through one integration to Signicat's EID hub, they actually get access, technically wise, to all these EIDs, which lowers the threshold to expand into new countries. Great. And to kicking off or leading us into the discussions, I wanted to share this with you guys. We know that 68% of all people who have initiated an onboarding process for a financial service have actually abandoned this process. And this is something that we know because it's from our own report, The Battle to Onboard, which is a report I think we have published the last 5 or 6 years. And this report is based on a survey we do, where we actually ask thousands of people throughout Europe about their experiences when it comes to onboard for financial services. And financial services could be like applying for a loan or opening a bank account or signing up for an insurance. And we actually then have found out that almost 70% has abandoned these processes, even though they have been determined to sign up for them. So they have found this process too cumbersome or too difficult or to take too long time. And this is why I'm bringing this up, is because I think one could think that this number should be a bit lower, because I figure this number quite high. And one could think that this should be lower because we have come quite far in the digital development. So we perhaps would have made it more easy for the end customer to apply for a loan or sign up for an insurance. But the positive side is that there's room for improvement. We have work to do. We at Signicat, we can help our partners and our customers to become better, and we can, together with our partners such as Metaforce, help the customers to become better at this. So this is being a high number, as we think, but we did not leave it at this. We also wanted to find out why people who have initiated an onboarding process for financial services, why have they abandoned this process? And one of the main reasons, as we have found out, asking the same persons, is that they find the language confusing. So when applying for a loan, for instance, the language may vary. So for instance, it might be a sales pitch in one phase, and in another phase, it might be a legal pitch or something like that. And it makes us confused. We don't know why a certain question is asked or why we are asked to share a certain personal information. Another reason why we drop off is because the process is semi-digitized. It might be in the beginning digitally by identifying yourself electronically or by just starting the process. But then all of a sudden, you need to take a photocopy of your passport and scan it and mail it to the bank. Or at the end of the process, you need to print an agreement that you have to sign, scan, and mail to the insurance company. We also find the process to take too long time, and we are being asked to add too much personal identifiable information. What we believe is that this process could be much smoother, that the end customers think it's too high of a threshold to sign up for a bank account, to sign up for an insurance. So we can become a lot better at this. So Berit, do you recognize this, or what challenges are your clients struggling with, both in regards to onboarding, but also regarding the interactive digital processes?
Yes, I do identify these things, both as a customer, but also within our customers. So our customers are often in different stages to digitize their processes, and including onboarding. They often have legacy parts and setups in their organizations, both within IT and within their business units. The solutions they have are often silo-based, mostly because of many legacy applications, and also old-fashioned processes, and the organization is built around that. They need a partner that can offer a step-by-step supportive approach, where they can consolidate their platforms and creating a great foundation to grow their business. And they also need to build bridges between the business units, and that can often be hard. And as a supplier, we have to understand where they want to be and support them with structure, a great platform, and know-how. So Johan, do you agree with me on this, or do you have anything to add? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. It's clear that our customers are often in different stages when it comes to digitization. Some are really far ahead, while some are not. So we need to be able to cater for that, as well as Berit said. Business units working within silos is a big challenge in this, and I think adding to this challenge is the fact that a lot of our customers are again operational in various markets. So consolidating your platform, your legacy, that is often different depending on the market. It's difficult. So the platform itself needs to be horizontal. It needs to work regardless of market. And then again, each market will constitute a silo itself. So definitely a challenge, and moreover, you have the regulations that are often different when it comes to different markets. So definitely a challenge, but also consolidate your technology, get rid of legacy in order to better work as a unit. And I think part of that is unburdening IT. Digitizing your processes doesn't have to be a technically heavy thing. So by doing that, you can make your customer communication or your customer or mission critical digital processes more tangible for the rest of the organization, for marketing, sales, legal, or what have you. So that's something I think Metaforce and Signicat are able to help our customers with, and also looping back to what you said, Per, about confusing languages. That's definitely something that we encounter when working with our customers, and that goes for all type of communication, not only an onboarding process, but any type of communication needs to be relevant in the eyes of the customer. And I do agree with the semi-digital processes. There's always like we digitize this now, but again, in the back of the process is still paper based or part of it. So yeah, it's a challenge.
Great, thank you. And perhaps back to you, Berit. How do your customers continuously interact with their customers?
They do, of course, sometimes not on a daily basis, but ad hoc. But it's really important, that sort of interaction. And this digital landscape is increasing the demand for better and more client-friendly solutions. The clients expect more of them. So our customers want to attain new clients, of course, and they want to offer great service to their existing clients in order to keep them. And it's actually vital today, I would say, in order to execute on their business strategies, to have that combination or a great onboarding processes. And in our client base, we find that it's really important to try to be a partner in that strategy and help them facilitate a smooth transition. And I think that's sort of our aim when it comes to this digital landscape that we operate in. So Jon, one of the challenges we mentioned is the difference between the countries, both when it comes to regulations and guidelines, but also when it comes to how you can prove your identity. Why are these differences still there?
Oh, yeah, that's quite a question, but I tend to say, yeah, it's kind of a jungle out there. And that's because the relevant regulation today, these are financial services, right? To a large extent, they fall under the Anti-Money Laundering Directive. And what is stated in the Anti-Money Laundering Directive is that remote onboarding or onboarding in general, that's to be done according to what each member state determines. So each member state, of course, determines differently. There are really, really different rules across the member states of Europe. And especially when it comes to remote onboarding, where you can use an identity document at a distance, for example. Some countries would allow it in different ways, and some countries will not allow it. And yeah, it's quite confusing. It's getting better. There are initiatives that making it more coherent across. What we do see is it's a problem that has been recognized also at EU level, that it can't be like this. It's hampering the internal market, right? In some countries you can operate in a quite easy way. In other countries it's more difficult, and some actors are actually shopping around to look at which country is the easiest way to establish something. The first thing to do is, of course, to make sure you know which legislation are you subject to and what is allowed in that legislation.
So things are becoming better through standardization, or?
Yes, both standardization and legislation. On the legislation part, there is a path now that we believe will end up with an anti-money laundering regulation, which means a common European law applying uniformly in all countries in anti-money laundering. And that will specify what is allowed and what is not allowed regarding onboarding of customers, identity proofing, and all those checks that need to be done in an onboarding process. So it means it will be the same requirements all over Europe. And that's the first step has been taken, because we got just recently European Banking Authority guidelines on remote onboarding, and they are sort of normative, meaning that supervisory authorities in each country must report back to say, are we following the guidelines? If we're not, then why are we not following it? But it won't change national legislation, but it's a step in the right direction. And it's quite good, and it's a good indication of what will come there. But then also, as you say, standardization, because we come across the same problem also in two other areas that we work in, issuing of electronic identification and issuing of certificates for signing. And in both these areas, it's also left to the member states how to do the necessary identity proofing. So what we decided in European Telecommunication Standards Institute is that if you want to level out on something, you need a standard. So we have a basic standard on security and policy requirements for the identity proofing part, at least, which we're pushing as a common basis also for it's one of the foundations for the European Banking Authority guidelines. So it's getting aligned.
I mean, are we taking part of this? What's
Yeah. I'm actually editor of that standard for Metsi. So Signicat, we do take a pride in not only following the standards but also contributing to making them. Yes,
exactly. We're not only on top of things; we're actually contributing. Exactly. Great. And we were previously talking about electronic signatures as well, and you mentioned it with the certificates and stuff. And what is the most important thing that our customers need to think about when it comes to electronic signatures in financial services and regulated markets and different cross-border and stuff?
Currently, it's a starting point is the same as for the onboarding process, that you need to know which legislation am I in, which country's legislation applies to the service I'm offering, and then what requirements are there for signatures in this country. And that varies a lot. I mean, we have a common law in the EU, the EIDAS regulation, defines signature levels like simple electronic signatures, advanced, and at the top level qualified electronic signatures. But when you go to a specific area, specific application of signatures, like for financial agreements, this is again up to the individual member state what to require. We see that some countries do not require that much. In the Nordics, we're used to the advanced electronic signature level being applicable, and that works. It's a good, secure, and reasonable trade-off. But we see also in many other European countries further south that there's a demand for qualified signatures for the same purpose, which is the top level and which is not so easily achievable in all countries. So you need to know what requirements apply. Actually, that's the first step, and then. We are there to serve you. We have an ambition to quite soon tick off that from us you can get the qualified signature in any case when you need it.
That's good to hear. And just to keep room for questions during the Q&A, perhaps we should start to round things off a little bit, and by summarizing what we have been talking about. And as I see it, we should do what we do best. And what I mean with that is that at Metaforce, you should be focusing on digital processes and such, whilst that we at Signicat, we should be focusing on identification and validation of identities and electronic signatures and stuff. Together as partners, we have a really strong offering, and we have a great possibility to help our common customers. And also, which Jon touched upon, it is a jungle out there. But on the positive note, it will not stay a jungle. Things will become better through common legislations and also through standardization. So things will become easier in the future. But as of today, as mentioned, stay updated on local regulations, because in some countries, also as you mentioned, you are required to offer qualified electronic signatures, and in other countries, such as in the Nordics, advanced electronic signatures is sufficient. Great. Let's see if we have any questions, and I think we have got a couple of questions, and we will deal with a few of them. Let's see here. I think this one could be for you, Johan. We've been talking about standardization. How will standardization benefit your customers?
A good question. I think all standardization that helps our customer in overcoming the regulatory sort of hurdle that is out there. It is complex. So, and as you said, I mean, our customers need to understand each market's requirements for EID. So that's if you can sort of have a standard way of handling that will greatly benefits them. And I think what we at Metaforce try to focus on is standardizing how you build these types of processes, like onboarding processes. There should be an easy, straightforward way of doing that. One platform that doesn't require that much IT to build them. A big part of that is the signing capabilities, and once you start talking about that, the regulatory requirements and guidelines will be a big part of the discussion. So I think this will greatly help if we can standardize this in a more easy and manageable way. Absolutely.
Yeah. You all already been talking about this, Jon, right? Do you have anything to add that you haven't already said?
No, I think I absolutely agree with what Johan is saying there, and there is a clear need to make this more uniform across. I mean, for financial services, it's an internal market, so it shouldn't be like there are different requirements in Sweden than in Germany.
Yeah. Great. We have received more questions, and this is one I really like, actually, being a partner manager. I think hopefully you can answer this, Johan. How can your partnership, I see, between Metaforce and Signicat, how can your partnership help us through the jungle that is EID and digitizing our processes?
Well, I mean, here I think, part of what we do is, technology, and the technology itself needs to help our customers, etc. But I think both Signicat and Metaforce, we're very used to working closely with our customers. These are often larger enterprise organizations, and they have, they really need someone that can understand all the processes that we try to digitize, and sort of see the big picture working across units, etc. So I think that's where Metaforce comes in the partnership. And then you have, again, the regulatory requirements, understanding what is what in each market, and making that part of your overall strategy. And again, that will, be easily done when things are more standardized. But working closely with our partnership in terms of technology, but maybe expertise.
I agree. I mean, as I mentioned just in the summary, being partners, that makes us stronger and it gives us a better possibility for a stronger offering to our common customers as well. Do you other guys have anything to add to that, Jon?
We're very happy working with partners. It's a great part of our strategy, and we can focus on what we know best, and we can help our partners and their customers absolutely also to navigate this landscape.
Great. We actually have more questions. We will not deal with them during this Q&A, but we will get back to you after this webinar with answers of these regarding these questions. Thank you for that. And also, Johan and Berit, thank you very much for joining. Berit, do you have any final words?
Thank you. We appreciate you taking the time to listen, and very much looking forward to the future collaboration with Signicat and the things that we can do together, and also your expertise in this area. So thank you very much for joining.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.